Oh, hello. Welcome to Gorm Wade. I'm Wade. Today, we're continuing with our Start Here by Sohla El-Waylly, and we'll be making a deviled egg dip. This one looks good. I love deviled eggs, so it was automatically right up my alley. And let's get started. First, we need to bring a pot to a boil. So I will go fill my pot with water, and I'll bring it to a boil, and I will get back to you guys. Remember, watch pots don't boil. So we're not going to watch it. We're going to walk away. So we've got our water boiling. So per the recipe, we're going to go ahead and start lowering in our eggs one at a time. Now, this isn't really normally how I do my hard-boiled eggs, but the whole part of this chapter, which I guess I should have introduced, is about controlling temperature. And, oh, I got a cracked egg. So the whole chapter's, like I said, controlling temperature. And a majority of the chapter actually focuses on eggs. So interested to see where that goes. Looks like we definitely have a cracked egg or two, but look, I tried my best. Eggs are $84 million today. And so while our eggs are boiling, we're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. And I want it all the way melted, so that is what we're going to do. I'm just going to melt it in the microwave. And then we'll be adding 4 ounces of cream cheese. Here's our cream cheese. We're going to fold that right into our butter. I've got this little spatula. And we're just going to fold it in until smooth. Now our cream cheese was room temp. Our butter is freshly microwaved. And now we're going to fold. Except it's not a lot of folding happening and mostly squishing. Smooth. And now we're going to actually chop half an onion. Great. Onion diced. Onion butt in the trash. We're going to take my knife. We're going to take our bowl. And we're going to throw our onion into our bowl and mix. Now, the recipe called for half of a small onion. I already owned this onion, so that's what I used. So there may be 1 too many pieces of onion in this for what the recipe calls. But, you know, this channel is about using what you have, not buying new ingredients every single time unless you need it. Just went off. So what we're going to do is we're going to slowly ladle these into our ice bath that we've made. I have actually had this in the freezer the whole time, so I didn't add too much ice. The recipe does say to crack the eggs slightly before adding them in, but given that these have already cracked, which is probably user. Ooh, there's one that hasn't cracked. Can I crack it? Ooh, that might be too big. But it does say to crack, have a small or crack in the eggs when you put them in the ice bath, and then we're going to leave them in here for 5 minutes. So yeah, we're right chugging along. So it's been just about 5 minutes with our eggs in the water. So we're going to go ahead and get ready. I did bring out a new chopping board just because we have to chop the eggs, and you know when you crack eggs, you get shell everywhere. So I brought out a new chopping board, and I got a paper towel, and that's how we're going to do it. And then we'll cut them on this one. That sounds like a plan. Okay, so we've peeled our eggs. We really should find a new camera angle. We've peeled our eggs. We washed them off to get any of eggshell off, and now we're going to cut them in half. Now the recipe says that we're only going to use 6 egg whites and all 12 yolks, and then I'm just going to save the other egg whites and eat throughout the day tomorrow and the next day. But you can do whatever you want with them. So we're just going to start cutting our eggs in half. beautiful yolks. You know, for as much as I love deviled eggs, I've never made them. Oops. My grandpa would always make them growing up. Love them. Still love them to this day, but yeah, I've never made deviled eggs, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm definitely not doing a good job. Ooh, that came out nice. Much better than the first one. And we're just pulling out the yolks to get our egg whites. We're gonna roughly chop these into 1/4-inch pieces, I think. Yes, 1/4-inch chunks. So here we go. Let's go ahead, add our whites to our cream cheese batter. Because we know that we have 6 whites here, and that's all we needed. And now we're going to fold this in. And it's at this time that I realized we are just passing the amount of time that the recipe said that it would take to make this. So that's a ding against that, but what can you do? We just try our best. And now we add some salt and pepper to our egg dip, cream cheese dip, and taste, and then put in the fridge until later. Quickly abandoned doing it through the sieve, but I went ahead in a small bowl and crunched them up very small and nice and fine. So we're going to just go ahead and add that into our bigger bowl. And I'm just going to tell you right now, be better and smarter than I am, because I'm using 82 million bowls. You don't have to do that. I would suggest you don't. This recipe probably doesn't mean for you to use as many as I'm using. I just am not focused. Okay, so we have our yolks in the bowl. And now we are going to add mayonnaise, mustard, and Tabasco and mix until smooth. I'm going to mix all of this until smooth. Now the goal is definitely, like, part of the reason you have the sieve is because it's supposed to be a very, very smooth topping. And you're going to see that because I'm impatient, mine's probably not going to be as smooth. It's going to be a little grainy. And, you know, even the recipe says do it in the bowl that you did your egg whites in. Fine. That's totally okay. I think that's, like, smart. But I didn't clean mine out all the way. So, you know, it's a slightly grainy, slightly chunkier topping than what you're supposed to do. That doesn't bother me. I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't bother me. So let's get out our dish with our egg whites. If you've been here before, you'll recognize this from the potato dish we made. If you haven't been here, go back and watch that episode. What we're gonna do is, as artfully as I possibly can, it's hilarious because those two words don't go together. Artfully and I, no. But we're just gonna scoop this on top and cover the egg whites. That's the goal. And this is not going to be perfect, like I said. Like, you can see that mine definitely has some grit and grain to it from the egg whites, or the egg yolks, not being, like, passed through the mesh sieve. That is fine. You know, yes, if I was serving this to friends or something, I would probably work harder at it. It's literally me at home doing this. And I could pretend that I was doing this for friends this time, but I'm not. I've done some other ones for friends, but not this one. So there's our dip. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and top this kind of like the recipe suggests. They do suggest a little bit of smoked paprika. You know, like you would find on a normal deviled egg. Just don't want to add too much. Like there. And then they did this really fun thing that I've never seen before. Well, I've seen it, but I've never had it. They put roe on top. So I bought this from Whole Foods. It was $15. Shockingly more expensive than the eggs, but the eggs weren't far behind, sadly. And they just kind of plopped it on. So that's what we're going to do. Plop it artfully in the three corners, apparently. I don't know. I think this could be like a fun dip. Like, if this comes out like I think it's going to be a deviled egg. Right? Like, that is the whole point. Oops. But when you're like, why are you using all of it? I don't know. I'm having great fun. But if this thing's not really good, like, I can see where this is probably easier than making deviled eggs, or the same amount, and you kind of really get to have some fun with toppings. But this, okay. So the recipe also calls for you to serve it with butter crackers. So that's what we're gonna do. We got some Ritz butter crackers. Just gonna open this little itty bitty roll. I'm quite excited for this. Once again, this is what it looks like. We're just gonna get a little bit of everything on it, maybe. And that was really good. I would say a solid 7 out of 10. It was pretty easy to make. I think the only thing was it definitely ran over time. That might be a me issue. I don't know, if you want to prepare better, but sometimes you just got to run right into the cooking. All the ingredients were really easy to find. Oh, you can tell I'm just so hot. I'm sorry, guys. It got real hot in the kitchen on this one. So, the ingredients were really easy to find. I owned most of them. Obviously, the eggs were kind of expensive. I don't think you need the salmon roe, but it was on there and I got it. Shout out to Elizabeth at Passmore Caviar for teaching me about caviar and salmon roe, because I didn't know the difference. And, she kind of steered me in the right direction. So shout out to you. If you need caviar needs, might I suggest Passmore Caviar. But overall, I liked this one. Like I said, 7 out of 10. I really can't complain. It was pretty easy, and I had almost everything. I did kind of give up towards the end, and it did take more than 30 minutes. So that definitely is kind of the only things. Those are the things that are dinging it, let's be honest. Other than that, that's it. Bye.